Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aaron Sierp. Today I'll be presenting a project called Real Estate Scrape. It's a real estate search engine for Central Kentucky. But before we get into that, I'll have a quick word about me. For the past 14 years, I've worked in manufacturing in an instrumentation and controls role. I've always had an interest in programming and tech, but I've always felt like the barrier to entry was a bit out of reach. However, over the past couple of years, I've had several friends break into the industry without having CS degrees or degrees in related fields. So that kind of gave me a bit of hope as well as the impetus to look into it further. Discovering Code U gave me the chance to test myself and gauge my aptitude to see if I had what it took to learn to code. And while it can be very frustrating and challenging at times, it is also one of the most rewarding subjects I've ever studied. That feeling you have when you finally get the bug that you've been looking for, you finally grasp that difficult concept that you've been struggling with is a great feeling, a feeling I wouldn't mind having on a more regular basis. Along the way, I also discovered that my real interest lay in creative problem solving. That's one aspect of the job that I do now that I really enjoy. I just don't get to do it very often. I think that's probably the main thing that draws me to programming is it seems to be very heavy in the problem solving department. So what is Real Estate Scrape? In essence, it's a very limited Zillow clone that utilizes web scraping rather than an API to aggregate data. The project consists of two distinct applications, a console application with a database and a web application from which to query the database. The scraper acquires the HTML code from the target web page, parses the desired information from the document, reformats it, and saves it to the database. The web application provides a visually appealing and user-friendly interface from which to query the database. So why did I choose this project? I have a general interest in real estate, having flipped several properties in the past and owned rental property. My wife and I have recently been looking to purchase a new home. Some of you may know the current state of the real estate market is very competitive. So you really have to stay on top of new listings. I found myself going to realtor.com probably 10 times a day and having to search each individual county and then filter the results, which after a while got very old. So I decided to create a kind of one-click solution to my problem. The first iteration of Real Estate Scrape was just a console application built with C# and .NET that when it was run would return information in real time only on the most recent listings in the counties we were interested in, which saved me a lot of time and effort. As great as that was, I saw the opportunity to expand the program a bit further to challenge and educate myself. So I added a database with SQLite and a web app with ASP.NET MVC to query the database from. A couple of challenges I had along the way. Web scraping can be very difficult to do. Generally speaking, websites, particularly for large companies like realtor.com, do not appreciate it when you attempt to scrape data from their websites and put defenses in place to prevent people from doing so. So to navigate around this and to avoid violating anyone's terms of service, I used a local real estate agency's website to scrape my data from. But beforehand, I contacted the agency and explained the project and that it was for educational purposes. And they very generously agreed to allow me to scrape their website strictly for the purposes of the project. I also told them I would restrict my activity to late in the evening hours so it would be less likely to disrupt normal traffic to their website. I also had to teach myself various web scraping libraries and techniques. Web scraping was not something that we covered in class, so it was something I had to research and learn on my own to complete the project. With that, we will end with a quick demo video of the actual application working. So this is the scraper. You can choose to create your own list of counties, or you can scrape the entire list of counties. As it's scraping and printing the address there, it's also populating the database with the listing information. I had it print the address so that the user would kind of have a visual cue that the application was working properly. So once your database is populated, you can then go to the front-end web application. And from here, you can select a number of different search criteria. You can select county, price range, square footage, and lot size. And so then once you hit the submit button, you'll be presented with a table on the results page of all the various listings that meet your criteria. You'll also have a link there to the actual listing itself. If you see something that piques your interest, you can go take a closer look at the actual listing. And with that, thank you all for your time and attention. Again, my name is Aaron Sierp. I can be contacted through LinkedIn or GitHub or at aaronsierp@gmail.com. I'll be in one of the breakout rooms after the other presentations. If you have any other questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.